My name is Suela, and I'm a biotechnologist by profession. Winemaking, fermentation, microbiology, quality in wine, and organoleptic evaluation in wine are my expertise. And today I'm back again on your Facebook page because I'm going to chat briefly about how you can read the information on your label. So hi Arnold, hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm gonna chat briefly about how you can read the information on your label. So it's something that we most of the time we don't really think hard about it, because as a consumer the only thing that you see that makes sense to you is basically how the label is designed, but there are more important information that is given to you on the label of the wine, and this is required. We are required by the law to follow the certain regulations when it comes to what we put on our label. Otherwise, I think a lot of people would put whatever they would want to put, and people would hide away certain things that they should be sharing with you as a consumer. So and today I'm gonna do this session really quickly, because also I think it's something that is not so complicated. So it's not so difficult to understand what I'm going to share with you today. So basically today I'm now enjoying, well, I'm about to enjoy a glass of the Gewürztraminer from the Suela range. So most of you have seen it, but this is how it looks. This is how the bottle looks. This is a Gewürztraminer. It's our natural sweet white. So if I can just say a brief description of what the wine is. The wine is made in a natural sweet style. So basically it's ranging, if you are interested in that type of a thing. The residual sugar is 32 grams per liter. So it makes it more of a natural sweet style. And also a Gewürztraminer is one of the fascinating grapes that are found worldwide. So the name itself originates from Germany. So the Gewürz part of the name means spicy, and the Traminer just refers to a region where this wine originates from. So basically it's a very fruity wine with tropical notes. So you cannot miss the lychee and rose petals and also Turkish delight flavors that come with the wine. So it's something you want to enjoy on its own, especially when self-chilled, but then you can enjoy it with some sushi. I would recommend that you enjoy the wine with spicy chicken feet, just to keep it local, keep it African. So anyways, let's go back to how you can read the information that's provided to you on your label, right? So first thing when you walk into a shop, you see a bottle that looks like this, right? In the front alone, there are a lot of information about the wine. Did I say that right? Yes, there is a lot of information about the wine, English. So basically you see the Suela name here. So most of the time a producer would put their name there, the name of the producer or the name of the brand. So this represents the name of the producer or just the name of the brand. So I feel that it's important that we understand why it would be mandatory to put your name there, because many producers, have a whole lot of reputation around making wine. Most of them have been in production for the longest time, and most of them, they are known, to produce great quality wines. They are known for, they are like the benchmark of certain things within winemaking. So it's all about the reputation that the brand holds, the reputation that the producer holds, how the producer is known, and it doesn't end there. It also incorporates the values that the producer has, that actually the consumer might feel strongly about, that has an impact in the consumer's life, the consumer's everyday life around wine and around many other things. If you think about it, we've got producers that are known, that I can't mention obviously in my video, that are known to, they've been benchmarked for many other things, but then they are known to produce quality wine. And it's not just it doesn't mean that other people don't produce quality wine. It just means that that is just the reputation they hold. That is what they are known for, So it's very important, to consider the brand, or to consider the producer, but not only because of the name, but because of what the producer stands for. So I think that's very important, but it just excites me a little bit more to think about the other things that we never think about as consumers. So also, so enough about the producer. So that is required by the regulations. So then you have here Gewürztraminer. Sorry, I need to. You have here Gewürztraminer, right? So Gewürztraminer is the name of the grape, right? So this is what we call a cultivar, or the grape variety. So this represents the name of the grape that was used to make this particular wine. So it is required by the law to have this name here, so that a consumer will know what they're about to buy, so that a consumer will know what they're about to drink. So it is required by law and the regulations that we have the name of the grape here. So if you're looking for a Shiraz, you will know that when you look at the front label, you will see it at the bottom. So it will be written Shiraz, right? It makes your life easier as well. So then we have here the year. So this year is what we always refer to as a vintage, right? And I want to stress something when it comes to like the vintage of the wine. Yeah? Most of the time, I feel that a lot of people are misinformed with regards to the purpose that the vintage of the wine serves. So the vintage is not only important for the fact that this is an older wine, or this is a 20-year-old wine. No. That also counts, but only when that particular wine was meant to be aged, because then now we are going to be praising the vintage in a sense that this is a more matured, aged wine, right? So we'll be thinking about it in the aspect of quality and, yes, an age and maturity of the wine. So that's just one part of it. But if the wine has been kept for years and years, and it's the wine that was not meant to be kept that long, that wine after 10 years is not going to taste pretty. And it's not going to serve the same significance that we are looking for, or that we always think, stands behind older vintages. All right. So this is the one thing you need to know about vintages. The wine vintage refers to the year in which the grapes were harvested to make that particular wine. Right. So why the fuss about the vintage of the wine? So this is what happens every year during, the harvesting process, during the farming, the production of grapes that we use to make wine. Several events occur. Every year in out is different. Speaking about climate, the weather, the challenges that grape farmers come across every year just to make sure that they produce good quality grapes. And I must say that it takes great quality grapes to make a great quality wine. So that is where we can't take shortcuts. If you're going to be producing wine from a poor quality grape, it's just going to be a poor quality wine, no matter how much of a great winemaker you are. Okay? So basically the vintage here, it's supposed to tell us the events of that year. What happened that year? Think about a 2020. I could not miss a 2020 vintage. Like, I was just not about to do that. Because for me, there is so many to share about the 2020, vintage. So it's all about what was happening that year. Are there any challenges that might have, that producers might have faced? I mean, was it due to, small or lower or decreased crop production? Was it, decreased quality in crop that was produced or harvested? Was it anything in particular that could impact, the quality of the grapes produced that year? And that is the significance of a vintage. When we speak of vintages, we need to be able to speak about the story, the events that occurred, the challenges, the brighter things, the exciting things that happened in relation to the quality of the grapes having been produced and harvested that particular year. So that is the most thing about the vintage. So even though if you're going to find yourself having to collect wine, think about it. If you're going to go into a shop or you're going to go to a wine farm or whatever, ask them these questions. Ask them like, how was the year of the harvesting? Like, how was the harvesting this year? That's a simple way to get information out of producers. They'll tell you their challenges, their ups and downs, their victories, and all those that matter in terms of the quality of the grapes for that particular year. And that is the most significance of a vintage, right? So, and that's it for now about the front label. And then there is a back label, right? So on the back label, the brand still comes back again. So you will still have the brand there, that's Sewela, and then you will have a little bit of a story there. So the story, a wine producer is, it depends on the wine producer what they want to write. It's like a private message that they send to you, like a small love letter that they send to you. And I can read out to you what our small love letter is on this bottle. So we have here a courageous lady from the north who followed her dream to make wine in the West. Enjoy the taste of courage as you pour the wine with whatever tickles your palate, an African cuisine or South African braai. So basically, this is just like it's just a message, from us to you. Like whatever we want to say to you or whatever we want to tell you about this wine, right? It's just it can differ even year to year, so from bottle to bottle. So yeah. Previously, a lot of producers used to write tasting notes here, and then until people realized that actually tasting notes and being so technical about wine doesn't really work, because it makes a lot of wine drinkers or potential wine drinkers and newbies in wine very intimidated, and it doesn't even add sense. It doesn't make sense to me why things should be so complicated when the whole idea is to enjoy wine. Yeah. So basically, I also have here the website. So the website is it's optional actually. You don't have to have it, but it helps to have it, because then if somebody wants to order the bottle again, they can easily go to the website, or if they want to learn more about your products, they can go to the website, which is www.sewelawines.co.za. And then again, the name of the grape appears again, and the vintage as well. So it's also very important that you note that we've also written down the composition of the wine. How much of this grape did we use? Is it like a pure 100% Gewürztraminer, or is it a blend? So that's very important to know. Well, this is 100% Gewürztraminer. So if we had used other grapes in this wine, we would also know that it's a 50% Gewürztraminer and a 50% Hannepoort, for example. So it's just also really exciting to know, and it's also required by the law that we do that we do mention. Hi, Godfrey. Thank you. I hope that you found that very informative. Hi, Tembelani. So we also have here the style. The style is very important. Like every wine needs to have the style. We need to have the brand name, we need to have the grape name, we need to have the composition of the grapes used in the wine, and we need to know the style, the vintage as well. I don't know if I mentioned. So the style, so this is a natural sweet. So it could have been a dry, but it's a natural sweet. It could have been a, whatever. So the style needs to, be visible on the label, on the black label. And then we also have, importantly, the alcohol percentage. So the alcohol percentage, besides the fact that certain wines are forced, well, it's by law that a certain wine, like if you're producing a, fortified wine, for example, they need to be alcohol between 15.5 to 20, I think 20 or 22%. So you are also required to abide by the law when it comes to the specifications of a specific wine. So some wines, so you can't say something it's a natural sweet white, but then you can't just say something. It's say for example, you can't say something it's a I was talking about fortified wines and then it's a 12.5%. It doesn't work like that. So it's very important that producers follow the regulations when it comes to the alcohol level. But more than that, the alcohol level also is associated with the quality of the wine, because bigger wines with a balanced structure tend to have higher alcohol percentage to it. And when I say higher alcohol, I mean 13.5 to 14%. So that is why in other countries, like French countries, they really consider the percentage of the alcohol more than anything. So it's believed that wines that fall under that category have a higher quality than those that don't. So it's very important as well. And most importantly, it's also by the regulations as well, to make sure that people know how much of alcohol they're going to be drinking, right? So, and then obviously the volume of the bottle. And then most importantly, there is also what is a disclaimer there, contains sulfides. So sulfides, it's important to note on the bottle that this wine has got sulfides, because some people are allergic to sulfides. Some people just don't like wine that has got sulfides, hence we having, the upcoming, ways of making wine such as organic. So basically this is also required, part of the requirements, labeling requirements, that this is visible on the bottle. So we need to have this. So if you don't drink wine that has sulfides, so rather look at the back of the bottle and you will see the producer will always make sure that it's stipulated, that is obvious, and that is visible on the bottle, right? Then you have your barcode, that's for obvious reasons. And then you have the wine of origin, all right? So wine of origin basically serves as an indication where the wine was produced now. So I must say that, just like a producer, there are several reasons why wines from different regions differ. And most importantly to know is that each region produces a different quality grape or quality grapes. And the factors that influence how well or how great, or the quality of grapes that are produced, from various regions include, taking into consideration the climate, the topography, what else? So basically what we call the terroir, the nature around the vineyard, it has a major contribution to how the quality of the wine will be. So that's why different grapes as well grow best at different regions. So it's just one of those things that you want to know. If you're into that type of a thing, you will know, yes, you know what, if you need a good Pinotage, go to Pau. It has to do with the nature's interaction with the vineyard. So all those things, they contribute to the quality of the grape. And then we have also lastly, the health warning thing. It's always we always are forced to share with the consumer that you cannot be drinking alcohol when you're pregnant. Alcohol cannot be sold to persons under the ages of 18. So that is what you need to know about what is written on the back of your label. So yeah, that was it for me today, and I hope that you found it informative. It's just nice to know these things sometimes. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you continue to have a wonderful day further. Godfrey, thank you so much for tuning in again. So I appreciate that. So, but I'll wrap this up as usual with how to evaluate the quality of the wine. So basically what you want to do is you want to evaluate by looking at your wine, you want to evaluate by smelling your wine, you want to evaluate by tasting the wine. And lastly, making a decision whether you like the wine or not. If you like the wine, thumbs up. If you don't like the wine, thumbs down. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you continue to have a wonderful day further.